Good morning, everyone. I'm joined here with the Council President, Chuck Lesnick. I'm joined with the Minority Leader of the Yonkers City Council, John Larkin, the Area Councilman, Mike Sabatino, Robert Voorhees, who is also representing our Assemblywoman, Shelley Mayer, all here today for a very nice but very important announcement when it comes to recognizing Yonkers residents for going above and beyond and helping to really keep our city looking good and moving forward. We're also joined here by members of the Landmarks Board, so I want to thank you and say welcome for being here. Bob Yelowitz, I know, is also a member, has donated flowers, and so Bob, thank you for your donation to Yonkers and everything you do for us. Today we are here to present the city's first ever Curb Appeal Award to 3 Yonkers homeowners. In June, we asked Yonkers residents to nominate their friends, family, and neighbors on our website on YonkersNY.com. And actually, it's not YonkersNY.com, it's YonkersNY.gov. So we'll have to fix that. So good thing is I caught it, right?
That's all right.
We've received dozens of nominations for the 3 categories: the Exterior Award, which is one we'll talk about first, the Creative Award, and the Landscaping Award. We're here today at 575 North Broadway to present the Exterior Award, and by looking at it, I'm sure that's no surprise to anyone, to James Trocino and Robert Allen. Their mansion-style home was built in 1910 by a nationally known architect named Wilson Eyre Jr. Did I pronounce that last name right? Eyre Jr. He was one of the most prominent American architects of his time. What's really amazing about this home is that it might have been torn down if it wasn't for the 2 individuals who purchased it. If it wasn't for their actions and the actions taken by the Landmarks Preservation Board and the City Council, we'd be looking at 5 modern McMansions, and this beautiful structure would have been torn down. So I want to recognize again the members of the Landmarks Preservation Board who are here today. Thank you for your smart work. For the City Council, in particular Councilman Mike Sabatino, who also was very much a part of that effort. It has been described as leading the fight by newspaper accounts over here in 2007. So the Exterior Award goes to James Trocino and Robert Allen, and I'd like to just Robert, go ahead. Thank you. Some flowers, I know. And if you don't mind, we'll kind of stick this in your lawn somewhere, and we're now going to charge you permit. For once. I think we paid once. I was going to say you probably played plenty of that, but please don't go anywhere. I'd like to ask some of our legislators to say a few words, if you don't mind, and then I'm going to ask you to say a few words. So I won't put you on the spot until later. So our Council President, Chuck Lesnick.
Thank you, Mayor. And we've also, by the way, been joined by our Majority Leader, Wilson Torero, who's also Chairman of the Real Estate Committee. But this project goes back further than that. And I am pleased to recognize Joan Gronowski, our former councilwoman, but it was actually her predecessor, Dennis Robertson, who voted to landmark this project. Both Joan and Michael were citizens who rallied around to save this building. And what happened back in 2007 is the Smith Collins building, a few blocks away, had been issued a demo permit on a Friday afternoon, and they started demolishing the building Friday night. By Saturday, when people realized what was happening to their history, City Hall was closed, and there was nothing that could be done about it. And that building was forever lost. And then just a few months later, a woman who was close to 100 years old lived in this building and died without a will. So the property was in intestate, and it went to the public administrator of Westchester County to be disposed of as part of the estate. The property was tremendously dilapidated, and Robert can tell you what it looked like both on the inside and the outside, and the non-creative public administrator advertised it as a tear down, and a person came forward and wanted to build, as the mayor alluded to, 5 McMansions on this very site, and that would not have been good for the community. Because we found out about it, the Landmarks Board was able to act very quickly, the City Council act very quickly, and before the sale even happened, the property went to be rebid. And then Robert and James came forward, and we can't thank you enough for all the money, time, and labor you have put into this project. It really has been a labor of love. Good things sometimes comes out of experiences, and from that came the demolition review ordinance, which Mayor Amiconi signed with council support back in 2008, which basically says that any property now that's 75 years or older, in order to get a demo permit for all or part of the structure, has to be referred over to the Landmarks Board. The Landmarks Board then has a very brief period of time to decide whether it's landmarkable, historic, or not, and if they do initiate an application, there's a 6-month moratorium so that the Landmarks Board can properly deliberate and the City Council can deliberate. Ironically, although there was a lot of controversy about that at the time, I think every one of the demolition review permits have actually been issued because they were not historic buildings, but the protection is there. Assemblywoman Shelley Mayer and Senator Andrea Stewart-Cousins have also, based on this experience, introduced legislation statewide, which has now twice been introduced, has yet to pass the legislature. We're hoping the third time is a charm this year. And that legislation will say that when a property over 75 years of age goes to a public administrator in any county in the state, there are 62 of them, then they too have to notify any local landmarks board, any local council, and any local mayor or supervisor in the jurisdiction in which case it's located. So sometimes it takes a nearly catastrophic event like this and a beautiful save to really open people's minds to the concept of preserving our historic resources. So that's a long-winded explanation. The City Council supports that. It supports all of what I just said, and we have our majority minority leader and of course the council member who up to now has represented this area and lives across the street, Mike Sabatino. So on behalf of all 7 of us, I'd like to present you with this salute and thank you, a warm gratitude.
Well, as you can tell by the council president's comments, he doesn't care all that much about landmarking. Just kidding, Chuck. So, the Creative Award goes to Clarissa Medina, and she's here today. Clarissa has an old-style home at 27 Landscape Avenue, which was built in 1897. With its charming front porch, Miss Medina's home stands out on the block as a graceful, original yet modern take on a home that's 116 years old, one of the oldest of 3 homes. I'd like to give you congratulations and give you this award today. And is that
No, it's mine.
No, it's mine. Good. Oh, okay. You know, I'm all over. So we're also Michael's all over the place. So congratulations. And I'm going to ask Councilman Sabatino to say a few words on behalf of the council.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First of all, about this particular property that we're standing on, it really gives me great pleasure to be here today and to see the progress that has been made over the last 5 or 6 years. And of course, I get to benefit by seeing this almost every day since I live across the street. And again, I want to acknowledge Councilwoman Gronowski for her efforts in saving this house. And to Rob and James, who are great neighbors, we often see them walking their 3 dogs. We've become friendly with the dogs as well as James and Rob. And they've been great neighbors and a great asset to the community here. And also Clarissa, who did a fabulous job. You can see some of the pictures on getting the Creativity Award. She lives on landscape, and the City Council would like to present this proclamation to you.
As you can imagine. Do we have, are any of the member of the Barbieri family here? Oh, Mr. Barbieri, come on up. Nice to see you. The Landscaping Award goes to Robert and Maria Barbieri for their home at 30 Gramerton Drive. Anyone who lives in that neighborhood knows that home. I know it very well. It's landscaped with several varieties of trees and shrubbery and beautiful plants. The Barbieri's home was the obvious choice for the Landscaping Award. You just have to look at it. And with that, I'm going to ask your City Councilman, John Larkin, the Minority Leader of the Yonkers City Council, to say a few words and present on behalf of the City Council.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a great honor to be here, to be able to be a part of the first annual Mayor's Curb Appeal Awards. Bob, it's an honor and pleasure to actually have somebody from the 6th District being recognized for their landscaping award. Anybody who does drive down Gramerton Drive does take a look and stop and take a look at this house. It's absolutely beautiful. It gives us a sense of pride here in Yonkers to know that we have an awful lot of people who take care and pride in their properties, and that obviously, as Clarissa was saying to me before, has sparked some kind of enthusiasm within the neighborhoods to actually compete and try to improve their property as well. So it's a great honor and a privilege, and I present you with this award from the City Council.
We also have with us Robert Voorhees. Again, he's representing the the Assemblywoman and also members of the state delegations. I'd like to ask him to come up here and make his presentation.
Thank you. Assemblymember Shelley Mayer, sorry she couldn't be here today, but she asked me to come and just thank these homeowners for their works and their efforts in helping to make this city such a great place to live. She's very proud of her city and is happy to see that residents also take pride in their homes and their community. So thank you very much. And I do have a proclamation citations from the Assemblywoman for each of the awardees. Thank you, sir.
Unless there's any questions from members of the press, I think we're done.